There is an application of technology with remote video auditing that can actually provide a significant value to our customers. What we found is that when customers deploy remote video auditing, they actually get a true measure of compliance. They get a true measure because by randomly sampling videos on a continuous basis, you know plant by plant, shift by shift, are your operations in compliance. Now, what's the benefit to the customer? One, from a proactive perspective, they actually know that their plants are in audit, not just guessing. And then from a documentation perspective, they can prove to their FDA inspector that they are actually auditing on a regular basis. They can show the audits and provide the documentation that we are actually better than the standard because we're providing it a compliance on a regular basis.
Always this danger with compliance, with a compliance mindset, is that the checking the box mentality. And it's like we just don't do stuff. Or we check the box and then we try to get away around it. And that's not what you want. What you want to do is you want to think about it from a risk management point of view and ask yourself, what could I do now that would minimize my exposure down the line in a way that the trade-off between opportunity and risk are understood, obvious to everybody, and then can be justified in the decision process. That's the goal. So the goal is not to step away and not do it. The idea is, how do I modify, make my decision today so that I'm positioned well tomorrow? What does this mean concretely? What it means is that when you're thinking about this, it's always two pieces. There's a prevention piece, eliminating the risk. But, let's be honest, we cannot completely eliminate those risks. The second piece is, that's where the contingency thinking comes in, is a preparation piece. And to have a proactive process in place not only decreases the risk of an adverse event occurring, but it also allows you to tell a story should a problem occur by pointing out that you have had these gold standards in place.
Surveillance technologies certainly play a huge part in certainly the documentation and us demonstrating to the regulators what efforts we've made, as well as certainly the intent of the investigation process. If something does occur, the ability to go back and identify where the risk was, where the incident occurred, and hopefully who was involved in it.
The whole internet has opened up to a whole world where you can remotely view your operations. Not only remotely view it, but you can have someone actually remotely view it and then make sure that you're doing what you said you're going to be doing. So you can do a remote audit. And what's really nice about this is it layers nicely back with the FSMA requirements that you're going to have to prove this stuff up. So you'll be able to save that test and you'll be able to save that view and then go back to the FDA and say, okay, not only did we test it, here's the results of that test. The other thing that's going to help with the entire electronic solutions is that you will be able to prove that you've made changes. A video is great for that. So, Mr. FDA Inspector or Miss FDA Inspector, here's what it looked like 2 months ago as a result of something we found. Here's what the look is now, and here's the differences. So you can prove that up, that you are you are being actively engaged in your food defense program.
The more your business model is based on trust, the bigger the impact will be. I always say that, you live by the brand, you die by the brand.
Brand reputation today is very often dictated by social media. 24/7 media has changed everything. It's not just that the media reports upon you, it's also because people tweet, they blog, they text, they do YouTube, they do Facebook. And you have to be aware of all those channels.
Now most firms, especially almost every large firm, recognizes that food defense is one of their brand and reputation and enterprise risks, and they have to pay attention to it. Leading firms in the food industry have started to do that, and they are making investments.
We all have something to add and benefit from this process and working together. And obviously for economies of scale, it will reduce the costs, but it's the right thing to do. Programs such as that will eventually help to give the consumers at the end of the day feel safe that know that the product they're eating, they can eat it knowing that there's processes in place that make sure that that food is safe to eat.